Hello everyone, welcome to Xendergarten episode 5. I am Riffy. I'm joined here by user -1, the chocolate chip eater, D insert number here, Tristan Bay, Ground, Mulberry Mom, Xeno Index, and Dead
Hello.
Shaman. And as mentioned in our previous takes, user -1 is really enjoying his chocolate chips.
Yes, these are amazing chocolate chips, guys.
Yes.
That's a really amazing,
Amazing.
really amazing
I'm glad.
explanation behind your name. I mean, nothing says chocolate chip eater quite like eating chocolate chips.
Yeah, I'm eating chocolate chips, and I'm stimming so hard right now. I'm gonna explode.
Like the Zen Harmonic Alliance on July 3rd, 3:49 p.m. PT.
Oh boy.
Why did I think like D and Ground were like the same person
Wait, what?
for like until like now?
Wait, what?
What do you mean? Like, do we sound the same?
A little bit, but like I don't know.
Lol.
That is hilarious.
We aren't the same person, guys.
Actually, yeah, you kind of sound similar.
But we're similar-ish.
Similar-ish, yes.
D sounds like a smaller version of me.
Yep,
Yeah.
basically. like a grown junior.
Why is that true?
Okay, I have a crazy theory, guys. D is an alternate timeline Ground from the past. That is the answer.
Yay!
Is this like one of those Zelda timelines where like things split?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not a time travel expert. I just watched Avengers Endgame in like 2019, and now I pretend I know everything about time travel.
You know everything there is to know about time
There
travel.
is one thing you need to know about time travel. It is that you are traveling through time.
Whoa.
Fact.
That was profound.
Truly.
Speaking of Zelda, let me talk about my tree.
Yes.
It doesn't have anything to do with Zelda. I just want to talk about my tree.
Good segue.
Yay.
Oh my goodness, I was gonna discuss Tears of the Kingdom time signatures. No!
Too late. It's tree time.
Burr, 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 burr.
All right, I'm just gonna say that the reason that my name is the way that it is because I recently found out, as in like yesterday, as of the time of recording, used a plant identification app and found out that my tree, named Parasite, who I found growing on top of another tree and I love very dearly, is not actually a basswood tree as I thought. It's actually a white mulberry tree. And I was kind of gushing about this to my boyfriend. And he said, "You're such a proud mom." And I'm like, well, now my name on here is going to be Mulberry Mom. One day I will eat the mulberries if my tree gets big enough. And I really hope that happens. I bet you could turn them into liquor. That is definitely something that I am thinking of.
Nice.
Beware of silkworms.
I don't know if we really have silkworms here, do we?
I don't know, but do you know what else? Ground has another tree. It's a baby maple tree called Gawain, and I can't wait until she makes maple syrup with it eventually.
Yeah, that tree is much smaller. As in, like, it's a few inches tall. I don't even know if it's a sugar maple. Because I just found it growing outside of my apartment.
Oh wait, I didn't know there's different types of maples.
Wait, what?
I literally had no idea.
Dude, there's a bunch of types of maples.
I'm sorry. I'm so dumb. I have the cultural knowledge of like a rock, okay?
Make sugar-free
Yes.
syrup.
Pop culture includes many things such as the different types of maple trees.
My favorite thing to be discussed on mainstream television. Let's discuss the differences between maple trees.
You realize this has nothing to do with Zen Harmonic, right?
This isn't Zen Harmonics, this is Xendergarten.
I want to make Zen harmonic maple syrup.
Yes.
Whenever we play Gartic Phone, the kind of a way to cheat to come up with a really good prompt is to just say Zen harmonic blank and come up with a random concept. Like I think one of them was Zen harmonic reality TV.
That was you.
Yes, that was me.
Okay, but that's actually a good idea.
Zen harmonic gallbladder.
I would love to see Zen harmonic reality TV. I would love to have, like, every person in this podcast has to have some dumb reality TV character trope,
Oh no.
and then we all just be dramatic and add Vine boom sound effects.
You
Yes.
moved my drink.
You tempered my comma.
Get your hands off my gosh dang comma.
Harry Park should be very offended.
I feel like I'd have a hard time with that. I was talking about this on the Discord server recently. You know, I am this scary, tall goth girl, except I have just about the least serious accent in the entire English language, aside from like Surfer Dude, maybe.
Yeah. Surfer Dude is definitely not a serious accent.
So either I buy some flannel and get an axe and pretend to be a lumberjack, or I become a real goth and stop talking like a character out of the movie Fargo.
No, I'm supposed to be the lumberjack because I'm a ginger, so the look
So
would
am
naturally
I.
suit me.
Do you know that?
Okay, to be fair, you're like 2 inches taller than me, so
How do you know that?
You don't know the decimal, you're a fake fan.
I think I'm the shortest person here.
Probably.
This would not be surprising.
on the podcast right now, yeah. But in Xendergarten as a whole, I think Ground's boyfriend would technically be the shortest.
He's only like 1 inch smaller than me.
Jeez, I really need to take a picture of us standing next to each other.
Oh.
Only 1 inch smaller. Do you know what that means? That means D2 and Ground's boyfriend make a super particular ratio in real life.
Yay.
In inches.
Small.
Sure.
Nice.
And if you say they're both short, then that's tempering out the super particular comma.
Exactly! Somebody gets it!
Well, it doesn't need to be super particular because if one of them is 73 inches and the other one is 71 inches, then that would be a 73 limit. What's the next step up from a super particular comma?
Isn't 73 inches like 6'1"?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. The math does not entirely add up. Because Ground's boyfriend is 5'2", right? That would be 62
Yep.
inches. So the 62 over 61.
Isn't 61 a prime number?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I sure do
seems
love
right.
tempering out commas involving absurdly large primes.
Hey, but here's the best part. So if some idiot like looked at Ground and her boyfriend and were like, they're around the same height, that would be an exo-temperament in real life. Boom.
I mean,
Amazing.
we're both in the same order of magnitude. You know, we're both normal human heights.
Yeah. And like major third and perfect fourth also like in the same order of magnitude.
Is 12 EDO an exo-temperament?
No, not really.
No, 12 Edo is not an exo-temperament.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you could invent a 12 Edo exo-temperament.
True.
It's like 12 Edo Mavilla, where
Villa.
where 400 cents is a 6/5 and 300 cents.
I actually
It's a
tried to
5/4.
design like a quasi like something that resembled a 2L5S in 12 VDO, but because the way it works, I just end up with this like a rank 3 temperament
Yeah.
just because of the math behind it.
any like rank above rank 3, like it's cringe. Okay, maybe not really, but like for like I know some people use ranks beyond rank 3 to like kind of get close to JI, but not like um exactly JI, and I'm just kind of like, what's exactly like anything beyond rank 3 is just like so complicated that like a normie who isn't like into mathematics isn't gonna like really use it very much because unless it's just like a preset built in or something. You get what I'm saying?
Just use JI lol.
The current tuning of the month is Zill, which I believe is rank 4, isn't it?
Well, if you think about it, 11 limit GI is literally rank 5.
I guess it depends on how you interpret Zill.
I'm talking temperaments, not J,
Yeah, but
not pure
JI is temperament as
JI
well.
is, I mean, JI does have a rank. It depends on how many dimensions that you have. Of course, if you interpret Zill as the smallest possible JI subgroup, which would be 2, 3, 5, 7.
If you're using the harmonic series or like a what is it? If you're using the harmonic series or like a 13 limit JI or something like that, then you've got like a reason to use, rank 5, rank 6, or whatever more ranks, because like the purpose of JI is to get perfect harmonics, right?
Sometimes.
But like if you decrease it by like, if you try and temper out just like a few commas, I mean it's still probably like for really high limit, like with a lot of prime numbers in it, it's still going to be like really close to JI, right? So unless you're trying to go for something that's simplified kind of, but like barely outside the scope of harmonic JND, but still within melodic JND, then maybe you have like a reason to use that. But like, I just think it's not enough simplification to justify using such a temperament. Like if you're going to use JI, use JI. Why use something ever so slightly similar?
I mean, what's your opinion on rank 4?
If it's a JI scale, then yeah, that's pretty good. But if it's just like, if you're tempering things out, like if you're tempering out something with 6 primes to a rank 4 scale, then I'd say it would maybe be more complicated than I would want it to be. So I'd probably bring it to like at least, or like at most, a rank 3.
So rank 4 is about as high as I'm willing to go. I've been working in Zill. I enjoy it. And 2, 3, 5, 7 Zill is rank 4. And if it's represented accurately, in an Edo that doesn't temper out either the syntonic or the septimal commas, it's gonna be rank 4 still. Of course, I'm still doing some essential tempering because I'm using 46 Edo for that, which means that whatever complex Neo-Gothic third ends up being equated to 13/11.
Why? Last time I was here, like I mentioned like how 46 does a really good job with like Strudel and diaschismic temperament or whatever, and you said that it's not like important. What do you think is important about 46?
I think
then?
Ground just meant that she doesn't care about like Strudel temperament specifically.
I just don't use scales like that.
But it simplifies the 5 limit so much, like, and I'm guessing if you extend it, then you get really close to like other higher prime limits. So
I mean, I don't really just use the 5 limit though. I use 46 Edo in order to get access to the full 13 limit. I use 46 because I think it's the first Edo to actually have a good representation that is somewhat balanced of the full 13 limit. Because 41 doesn't really have a good 13, 53 doesn't really have a good 11. 46 has a pretty good balance of all of them. And so that's why I use 46.
Makes sense. Actually, thinking about it in this perspective kind of makes the layout, the quasi isomorphic layout that I proposed, kind of not that good. Am I right? Because it is still 5, maybe like 7 limit centric with like actually I should revisit it because on the horizontal dimension my layout is basically an MLS scale, so for every like interval on the isomorphic keyboard there are 2 variants of the same interval, the major and the minor one. And while my layout is kind of centered like around getting close to like 5-7 limit, maybe with some 11 limit, I should check what are the unwanted intervals, the ones that are unwanted by me, but maybe more interesting to ground.
Well, that depends on what intervals you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm talking basically about the layout I proposed, if you remember it.
I do not. I don't think I ever saw it.
Post it in the Discord. The chord of the disc.
The chord of the dis. Bro, I'm gonna diss your cord so bad. Man, your cord can't even hold more than 10 pounds of load right there, guy. Your cord is so weak that you probably couldn't even use it to hold up your gourd.
Look at that chord's harmonic entropy, my guy.
I just realized that some people say guy and some people say my guy, and they have a very different vibe to them.
Hi, guy.
Just gonna leave us with there's a big difference between guy and my guy and just not clarify.
Okay, anyway, I'm gonna go check the Discord. Oh, what channel is it in?
In theory,
Okay, so it's in theory, and do I just scroll up until I find it? I haven't seen
I'm pretty sure I've literally mentioned you like
Oh boy, okay, alright.
How dare you sing a 12 EDO song?
Oh, there it is. Did you guys stop doing that? Stop it. Stop doing that. Stop. No, don't do it. No,
Dude.
stop.
Come on, I was trying to harmonize.
This is something my mom used to do to me, and it would piss me the hell off.
Yeah, I see your layout. It's all squares though, so I can't really use it.
yeah, but you can just like tilt it, so you can use it.
I'd have to try it out. I can't judge it just by
Yeah.
looking.
Such things are hard to judge just by looking, but basically that's like a detempered mean tone layout, literally.
Anyways, I remember somebody mentioning 5 limit.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, so instead of having the same, it's not really isomorphic. That's kind of, yeah, you called it quasi isomorphic, right? And that's what makes it different. The program that I wrote to allow me to change the isomorphic layout on my Axis 49 doesn't do that because I've never tried, so I can't even use it.
Does the Axis 49 actually only have 49 keys?
No, it's equivalent to a 49 keyboard. I think it has like 90 or something.
90 still isn't very much, because if I were to make my own, which I'm wanting to do, and I'm starting to prototype actually. My idea for an isomorphic keyboard would have 278 keys, which is about the same number of keys as the Lumitone. The difference is that it's not going to be exorbitantly expensive. People are just
Well,
like,
see, the difference is that the Axis 49 is the one that I had the opportunity to buy for a good price, so I did.
So I'm probably gonna have to be heading out soon because I have a gaming practice to go to, but I just
He's
wanted to quickly
gaming.
mention something. And somebody was mentioning 5 limit. I think it was Dead Shaman. And recently I've been looking into Pahara temperament or Pajara temperament, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And I realized that you can create sort of a quasi 12-tone serialism with it because you have, I believe it's, yeah, because it's 10L2S, you have two repeating patterns of 5L1S, and you can
Correct.
sort of create two different structures of 5 large steps and 1 small step to create a sort of faux 12-tone serialism. I'm still trying to look into it. I don't know much about 12-tone serialism outside of like the fact that it sort of exists, but it's definitely something I want to experiment with given the unique type of 5 limit that Pajara allows and what that would look like in the context of like sort of an improved 12-tone style.
To be honest, just go for like Pajara 10 serialism. Really.
Yeah, that could definitely work. Anyways, yeah, I have something to do, so apologies I have to leave late, but I'll see you guys.
Enjoy gaming
ya.
practice.
goodbye.
Pajara 10 does actually go hard
Bye.
in 22 Ito though, because recently Sevish, I guess not that recently, Sevish made zero nothings in 22 Ito using a modified Pajara 10, and it sounds really good. And he was able to do it like, I think there was like this sort of, I think he made it like using a very planar technique where he played the same chord shape, but it came out as different chords depending on what root of the scale he played it on. So I think that's really cool. Also, apparently he used like Sonic FM sounds. That's just a random little fact.
Wait, that was Pajara? I thought that was just like some like decatonic scales from like Paul Ehrlich's 22 Ito paper.
It's Pajara, but it's a modmos, MODMOS. So instead of being SSSSL, SSSSL, I think it's SSSSL, SSSL.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pahara 10 good. I used it for Tuesday.
Do you have a song named Tuesday? Because if not, I'm very confused.
My friend has a song named Tuesday.
Pretty much 1 second.
Pajara 10 is just good.
Anyway, so I did check, and the Axis 49 has exactly 98 keys, which is 49 times 2.
Nice.
No.
Nice.
That's interesting.
98, nice.
How much is how many U.S. currency units is it?
I paid $300 for it.
That's not
I
terrible.
bought it from someone on the Discord. Yeah, I got a pretty good deal. It was in great condition. Except the aluminum thing was like the adhesive was kind of losing its grip and the aluminum thing was sticking off. And I just pulled the aluminum thing off, and if I want to sell it, I'm just going to cut out, I'm going to use like maybe a wood laser cutter and cut out a better overlay to replace it.
Does it require software of any kind to get full functionality out of it? Like,
It does. The problem is I was not able to find any that worked, so I had to write my own.
Nah.
oh really?
Yeah, I wrote a Reaper plugin for it.
That's cool.
And I keep mentioning like, hey, I wrote this thing. Does anyone want it on the Discord? And no one wants it. So I haven't ever shared the code with anyone.
I might start using Reaper though.
Well, if you use Reaper and have an Axis 49 specifically, then you might be able to use it.
Once I switch away from Windbloat to Glorious Linux. Because I think Reaper has like a build for Linux, don't they now?
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
Have for a couple years now, which is delightful.
Yep.
So speaking of writing plugins for MIDI keyboards, I actually wrote a plugin to convert input from a launch pad, which is 8x8, 64 buttons, to any isomorphic layout that you want. You can drag sliders to specify how many steps you want in the X and the Y directions. And the reason you can do this is because by default, if you go to the drum layout, then each of the buttons map to a different note. So I can get like the position of the key based on the note number and then use that to figure out the output note number, which is amazing.
I do think someone should just make an array of buttons that you can use for MIDI. It
Same.
doesn't have velocity sensitivity, no pitch bend wheel or whatever, just a bunch of buttons on a board. Use it however you want. It costs like $100.
Totally agree.
That's a launch pad.
I could 3D print that and just get like a bunch of those like little push button things. Or just like membrane things. That'd be so easy to make.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Lumatones are great, except you're basically paying, a few $1,000s more than just an array
$4,000.
of buttons for some more you get velocity sensitivity that is probably quite good, much better than the Axis 49's velocity sensitivity, which barely works.
What really pisses me off about the Lumatone, or really the people that are getting the Lumatone, is that, I mean, they're just like microtonalists, and they're dropping $4,000 on this like keyboard that like that's so much money, and like everybody seems to be getting it. Where does do people just pull it out of their like, where are people getting these $4,000?
I can't do that. I can't pull
I
money.
had the opportunity to buy one used for $2,000 from the same guy that I bought my my bass amp from, and I was just like, no, there's no way that I could use that enough to justify over a month's rent
Yeah.
being spent on something like that. I'm just gonna stick with my Axis 49, I think.
Could get more buttons if you spend the same money on launch pads.
Yeah, that is true. I'm just trying to survive on a Launchpad Mini, which is $100 for 64 buttons. And I think I want to get another one so I can have 128 buttons in a 16 by 8 grid.
Yeah,
Same.
16 by 8 at least sounds at least half decent. 8 by 8 sounds not that good, to be honest.
Yeah, one of the things that bugs me about the Lumatone is that it has a few hundred buttons, but like for bigger Itos, you might want more. And you can't really get more without buying another Lumatone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna, if I ever have the time, I might just, design a PCB, design like this big PCB or group of PCBs, stick a bunch of buttons on them, and then hook them up to like an Arduino.
You want
or
me to do
something.
that for you? And I can like sell it to you for like, I don't know how much, what money, like it depends on how much the parts and labor would be, but hell, I mean, if I can make a kalimba that is in 41 tone equal temperament, you can look at the main Zen Discord server, the gear, the gear channel for that, because I took a picture of it. Then I might be able to quite easily make like just a simple MIDI controller with no velocity sensitivity.
I mean, I am an electrical engineering major. I do know Verilog. I could build something with like a small FPGA if I wanted to. The issue is just like, do I really care about spending that much time when the Axis 49 kind of works.
I feel that.
You know what would be incredible is I could design an isomorphic keytar.
Yeah.
Isomorphic keytar. That sounds epic.
I want one.
Actually, how many buttons can Arduino support?
Depends on how you wire them.
If you use a multiplexer, which you're going to
Yeah.
have to, you can. It's probably pretty arbitrary. I mean, I would probably, because I have more experience with FPGAs and Verilog than I do with Arduino, I'd probably just use one of those because an FPGA is going to be generally more capable than an Arduino. It's just that Arduinos are easier to use.
I'd use a Teensy.
I don't know how to use an Arduino. All I know how to do is just to like copy schematics off the internet and make boards. I don't know.
All I know how to do is cook up some bullcrap in JSFX and press buttons on my keyboard.
That's all you really need to do, right?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Okay, so while we're on the subject of creating just the wackiest possible isomorphic keyboard, what other features would we add to it? So it's going to be a keytar, obviously. It's not going to have velocity sensitivity because that's too hard.
It's gonna be very bright and have RGB lights like a gaming computer.
Yes.
Like, actually, all I want is just an two-dimensional array of cheapest buttons possible, and like maybe with a software that can configure the output however I want.
You know, maybe I could use like, I don't know if I want to use the cheapest buttons possible. That would not feel very good. I might use like low-end mechanical keyboard switches. That might work.
Be pretty fresh.
That would be a good feature, actually. I mean, if you're going to do away with the velocity sensitivity, you might as well have the ability to switch out the type of switches you use. You know, you could get different weights, clickiness, and such.
Yeah, and then we can get
That would be cool, I think.
RGB mounting points so it can be all LED lit up. It's going to be beautiful.
I would probably have to outsource injection molding of the keycaps, though, because, I mean, they'd be hexagonal and they'd have to fit over the key switches. You know, 3D printing isn't really going to be good for that.
Add isometric pentagonal grid.
But if I make enough of them and sell enough of them, then economies of scale will make outsourcing an ultimately better decision. And I would like to make it clear to the listeners that I will probably never do this, because I got stuff I gotta do. Making an isomorphic keytar is not high on my priority list. But if I ever do, that'll be pretty cool. And
Yeah.
cool. I said cool
Yes.
twice. Shoot.
Hey, it's worth saying cool twice. It's cool,
Yeah.
cool.
How much does the cheapest button cost? Like $50? Less?
If you're talking, what do you qualify as a button? Like your basic tactile switch you can get for less than a cent because you just buy them in bulk. But they are garbage and would be really unpleasant to play an actual thing.
No,
on.
like something that just doesn't feel like a complete garbage, but I allow it to be kinda uncomfortable but still reliable.
You could probably get, I mean, I think a pretty good option would just be to get some low-end mechanical keyboard switches.
Mhm.
Because otherwise you would have to make a membrane yourself or find some that you can cut up to fit the particular format.
Well, I was just thinking if we want to go like cheap, we should go like cheap, because
Use tin foil and cardboard to make buttons.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? There's this certain YouTube video that like uses Hall effect sensors and like foam padding to make like a a DIY, like, I think like Velocitive or MPE like keyboard.
If you want to do something really cheap, just buy a keyboard at Goodwill, like a computer keyboard. There you go. It's almost isomorphic, kinda.
Almost.
Thinking, like, to be honest, that's not the worst idea. The problem being, I just want to have more keys. Because I've used PC keyboard as an isomorphic keyboard like a lot. In actual music as well. It is possible, and while not being particularly comfortable, it's good enough, to be honest. For me, it is good enough. The only like uncomfortable thing being that my keyboard doesn't have a full multi-touch, so I cannot hold some chords, and that's not comfortable.
There was a Tom Scott video about him making an emoji keyboard physically,
Oh yes.
and he ended up finding a way to get like 20 keyboards hooked up to the same computer where every button did something
Yes.
different.
Didn't he use auto hotkey to script everything?
Yes, he did. Beautiful
That's like a
software.
Windows program.
Wow, I can finally type the title of Stephen Weigel's emoji album.
Yes.
Let's go!
Oh no.
Hey, by the way, I just wanted to say, Dead Shaman, earlier you said you wanted to not just go cheap, you wanted to go cheap. But if you really want to go cheap, you gotta turn into a bird. That's how you really get him.
Sure.
You can't really be a Zener without having a bird character.
True.
Chirp.
I created one, pretty recently. Maybe like half a year ago. And it's a goose. And it is a goose that has grown way too tall because it was raised by lawn flamingos.
Wonderful. Also, friendly reminder that Cheep is also the name of one of the villains or one of the enemies in Super Mario.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not even a bird, isn't it?
It's a fish bird. It's a fish with wings.
A fish?
So it is
Yeah.
primarily a fish.
Yes.
It's primarily a fish. They're usually underwater, but they can fly out of the water because, reasons.
Right. So anything that goes up into the air, even momentarily, is a cheap.
Sure.
Alright, time for the whole Zen Harmonic Alliance to jump at the same time and become cheaps.
Yes. The Zen Harmonic Alliance is a cheap.
Chirp.
Yeah, Zeners, if you like birds so much, why don't you go jump in the air?
Can I actually take this moment to talk about the project I've been working on with Kite?
No.
Ooh,
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
All right, so if you look at the Zen Alliance Discord and go into the gear channel, you can see what Kite and I have been working on for like the past month and a half or more. It's kind of a mess, but
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
The
Truly
Super
beautiful.
Kalimba!
That is long.
Big boy.
Wow.
The Kalimba finally went through his glow up.
It's just a long kalimba.
Long.
It's the Super Kalimba.
Gorgeous.
yeah, it's a 41-tone equal temperament 3-octave kalimba. So it's got 124 keys, and I still need to finish tuning it.
It's just, I don't know why, but making something long is just so much funnier. That reminds me of one night when I was very drunk. Someone on the Xendergarten server posted a map of the long US
Yes.
where they split it like down the middle and just filled it with like 100 more states. And I liked that map so much. I was like, hey, I've seen this map before. This is probably my favorite map in the world. Anyway, I'm going to go print it out right now on my not very good black and white computer printer. And I'm just going to stick like, 6 pages? 7, like 6 and like a little fraction of 1 pages onto my wall with tape. And that's going to be my map.
Gorgeous. It is a good map.
Met my wife in Healthland and got married in Green Rock, and we settled down in Wilford. God bless the USA.
Someone just shared the map in the chat, and it's exactly as funny as I remember.
Wait, hold on, let me see.
It's so good. I'm gonna try and put things into the Discord as we're remembering them because archiving. It's so good. It's just all of the states you were missing. You know, I'm a really big fan of Zackers.
What's Tepent? New Canada.
I don't know where that name came from, but it's there now.
New Canada.
Why is Texas so far away from New Mexico now? Like, why did it have to be split there instead of...
Couldn't have it any other way.
I mean, that's approximately where the Great Plains are, which is like the emptiest band of the continental US.
Great Plains.
Plus, I hate Texas.
I find it funny how Oklahoma
I'm a Texas hater.
lost the panhandle.
I live in Texas.
Your power grid sucks.
I'm so sorry you are Texas.
Alright, side note about being in Texas. So, user -1, our beloved eater of chocolate chips, you mentioned on July 3rd, 2023, that you're going to listen to my album, Twigs. Guess what? You are the only person in the entire world who listened to my album, and I can tell that because I can see what city my song was listened to on July 3rd. Stealing Stones loves you. But I can see, literally, there's just a bubble on the US in my analytics that only one person listened on that day, and it was in Texas. You listened to 11 songs.
That's amazing, actually.
Yeah, Apple told me that. Apple has snitched on you. So if anybody happens to tell me when you listen to my music, and you're the only person who listens to it on the day, I can find where you are.
Wait, what? Wait, does it track me if I download the album? Because I downloaded the album and I have been listening. Oh, okay. Yay.
It's only if you listen to it through a streaming service, and even then, there's things you can do to make it not super direct that it knows exactly where you are. I just found it really funny. I happened to be scanning through my Apple Music for Artists page and was like, hey, wait, somebody listened to my music in Texas. Oh, I know exactly who that was because they mentioned they were listening to my album.
I listened on YouTube through Discord.
I think that it doesn't provide enough information. I think it should also provide people's name and phone number and home address.
Yes, I would love that information so I can better estimate my market reach.
Yep.
You know, for reasons.
This guy clicked on my album, listened to it for 5 seconds, and then closed it. All right, I'm getting the bat.
You bet.
User -1, my man.
Yes.
Tell me, was the album good?
Yes, it was good. It is a very good album. One of the best songs on there is called it's called Mirage Mainland. You should listen to it. It's amazing.
I didn't listen to it, but it was okay.
Mirage Mainland is so good that I made like a Small Pony remix of it.
Yes.
Can someone send me a link to an album, please?
I like Twig.
Alright, speaking of, if y'all want to dive in, I have a small, really dumb quiz about this album.
Oh yes, I will get all the questions right.
Here's the data, in case you wondered who listened to my album in the last week on Apple Music.
Nice.
Just gotcha. I can see exactly which songs you listened to, and I can see where you are.
Average daily listeners one.
Bro, you leaked my city?
We don't have to share this publicly, but also, still, you leaked your own city, or Apple leaked it for you.
Anyone from the Lake Doramos area? Maybe?
I had a friend who was in
I
Lake
wonder where
Doramos.
New Vegas and what's the other, Los Santos. I wonder where those are on the map.
So I actually use a VPN to make it look like I'm in Texas. I actually live right in the middle of Lake Doramos at the bottom of the lake. It's amazing there.
I'm glad to hear it.
How much water do they have there?
All of them.
All of the waters.
Yeah, there's a lot of water. It's like living near an ocean. It's like living near an ocean, except all the water's fresh water.
Hey, isn't it weird how they say the Great Lakes are the largest freshwater lakes in the world? Because it's like, no, they aren't. Lake Doramos is right there, guy.
I know, I hate it when they get that wrong.
It's all a conspiracy.
I don't know. Maybe they just hate Lake Doramos.
When talking about like the biggest lake with like fresh water, are we measuring by what? By surface or by volume?
I don't know. I feel like Lake Doramos is kind of, unless it's like 3 feet deep the whole way through, it's probably going to be the biggest by both metrics.
I'm pretty sure Lake Baikal would be biggest by volume.
Lake Doramos is 1 inch deep.
I can confirm. I have a house in the middle of there, and it's only 1 inch deep.
Has climate change been like hitting again or something?
Amazing how the entire lake is only 1 inch deep.
Hey, that's the real US
My
for
friend
you.
told me that it was like at least like 10 feet deep. Like at the very least. He's afraid of water, so.
Oh, he was just on drugs when he saw the lake. That's why he got
Lake
it wrong.
Baikal is like 7th by surface area, but at the same time, it is. I'm not kidding you. I'm not joking here. It's 1.5 kilometers deep.
That's a lot of water.
Yep, that's a lot of water. That's like a quarter of the whole fresh water on Earth. Or like more like a fifth. So, if I had to guess, if we're measuring by volume, Lake Baikal is the biggest one. But not by surface area. Definitely not by surface area.
So, as it turns out, the reason why we don't think of the US being as big is because, like, a while ago, I think in World War I, like, Germany or Russia or somebody. No, it was at the end of the Cold War, Russia got so mad at us that they teleported that big region in the center into space, and that's why we don't know it exists anymore.
Okay, yeah, so I just looked it up, and Lake Superior is the largest freshwater lake in the world by surface area, but Baikal is the largest by volume.
Okay.
Just because of how
makes
deep it
sense.
is.
Yeah, but because it's freakishly deep. It's like
Is that in Russia?
Yeah, it is.
because it's like bottom looks more like an ocean bottom, like from the geological standpoint.
It looks more like the ocean bottom. When are we gonna find a lake that looks more like Bikini Bottom?
So Lake Baikal, it's oh, actually I'm not sure. Is it like been an ocean, or is it like would be an ocean in like million years? But it is one of the two, if I'm not mistaken.
Shaman, do you live near Lake Baikal? Do you live in Irkutsk?
Nope. Actually, I've
You know,
never.
as a matter of fact, I don't live there either.
Wow. Stunning revelations from Xendergarten.
I've never seen a Lake Baikal.
I've seen Lake Superior, so that's good, I guess.
I think I've seen Lake Superior. I can't remember.
I too have seen a lake.
Yeah, I've seen Lake Superior and Lake Michigan because those are the two lakes that are in my area.
Are in Wisconsin.
Those are the two lakes.
The two lakes ever.
Well, they're the two big lakes.
They're the two lakes.
Just the two lakes, just ever, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you can't forget about Doramos, though. So yeah, we got Lake Superior,
the 3 lakes ever.
Lake Michigan, and Doramos, and those are the only lakes that exist. That's pretty cool, actually.
I love the part when Lake Doramos said it's laking time and laked all over the place.
No.
You know what? We've been talking about doing an IRL Xendergarten episode someday. We gotta do it in the middle of Lake Doramos.
Actually, let me just. I've just Googled it up. Yep, Lake Baikal is like newly emerging continental like rift. So it would become an ocean.
So
it is going towards being an actual ocean.
So speaking of Lake Doramos, you know, they got states on the north of it like Iobite and Mesfate. They got states on the south of it like Central Trankland and Fitreat. And that doesn't seem like a big distance, but I was recently told by my boyfriend, who is from Kansas, that they don't really get nice weather in July. It's like it was a really nice day out. You know, it was like 70 something degrees here. And he was like, yeah, we don't really get days like that in July. And I just thought that's insane how in the hottest month of the year, it's just miserable to be outside pretty much all the time, at least during the daytime. It's a weird thing to think about.
Yeah.
Lake is frozen all year except for one day.
Right, and it freezes because it has such a large surface area.
Wait, imagine you just like skate all the way from like Central Trankland up to Mesfate.
Oh yeah. That sounds like they've got to have an annual race for that.
Must skate for a week straight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they actually call it the Central Trank-Less-Fate Ramos race. Which is crazy that they just kind of took all three of the words and just kind of shoved them together.
Yeah.
I thought Central Trankland Fate Ramos race is a little bit too much of a mouthful, but I guess so is Lake Doramos if you tried to drink all of it, so what do I know?
Yeah, the people who go on that race have never skipped leg day. That's the only way they can have that much stamina in their legs to skate that long.
Ice skating over a lake is actually pretty easy. There's a reason that ice skates have existed for so long. Is because ice skates are a very efficient method of travel if you have access to a flat sheet of ice.
Mm-hmm. See, the trick is you're doing this for a full week. So if you want to do that, you need to not skip Xenharmonic Leg Day.
Harmonic Leg Day?
I've never been to Lake Doramos, though, so I can't really assess the scale. But it would still probably be really bad to try to skate across all of it. Well, I guess actually Central Trankland has that one big island in the middle of Lake Doramos, so it wouldn't be as bad as you'd expect.
I bet the housing costs there are really high. Like everybody wants to live on what would the island name be?
Central Tranquil Island.
Doramos Island. I don't know. That's what I've been calling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think that's what I've heard people call it. But I think that Central Tranquil Island is definitely going to catch on eventually. I mean, if they're going to call it this Central Trankland Fate Ramos race, you know, then they got to start shoving more words together. Oh, yeah, the alcohol is definitely hit.
One thing I learned recently is that the island common, the island scale, were actually named after that little island in the middle of Lake Doramos because for whatever reason, the people who live there have started using that scale. I think they have like special mushrooms that grow there that they eat that make them want to use that scale all the time or something.
Doramos tuning when?
Don't eat
Doramos
the Xenharmonic mushroom. Please. It's one of its side effects is making you
Hugh Mashroom by Sevish.
No way, it's Adam.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, I can also hear apparently the sound of a jet engine.
It was a pretty good jet engine.
Yeah. Are you on a plane?
Adam living in airport still.
Haha.
Adam lives in the airport on the island in the middle of Lake Doramos.
Stop doxing me, dude.
Why has everyone been to Lake Doramos? I've never been there.
I've never been there, but my friend has.
What's the airport code for the airport on Doramos Island? Is it just DRM or
DRI.
DRI? Yeah. Couldn't remember.
I thought it was CTL, which obviously stands for Central Tranquil Island.
Oh yeah.
That's the official name, but everyone just calls it Doramos Island because that's way easier.
Hey, wait, guys, I just realized something. Why is nobody talking about the tiny island in the lake in Eastern Drayton? Do you guys see that? That tiny dot?
Oh yeah, I see that.
That's gotta be like a full island. Why
Yeah,
is
it
nobody
is.
talking about that?
We could call it Eastern Drake or something. Because Drayton and Lake together is Drake.
True words have never been spoken.
I mean, there's also that island in Upper Notch.
That's true.
This is like extremely off topic now.
That's the point.
Do you think like a Zen harmonic scale will ever catch on in like Doramos? Because I'm trying
I
to
already
get
told
it to,
you,
like,
the island scale.
Do not eat the Xenharmonic mushrooms.
It's native to the Lake Doramos municipal area around the lake.
Got him. Specifically the municipal area.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just looking at this map, and I think Erskident is my favorite name of any state on this map.
What about Healthland?
What about Read It?
Green Rock.
Last Land is pretty good. You know, there's a bunch of good ones, but I just love Erskident.
Zackers.
That's gonna be one of my trees. I'm gonna name one of my trees Erskident.
Where
Maybe.
is
I don't
Erskident?
know.
What color is Erskident?
I like Ronald.
It's in the south. It has a tiny border with Mexico, and it's green. It's right next to Texas.
West of
actually.
Texas.
Oh, I just found it. Erskident.
Erskident.
Yeah, that is good.
You live in Texas, so you would know. You should know where Erskident is.
Slauverb.
I think my favorite part of this map is Oiblov, which is literally Nebraska, but the other half of Nebraska. It's the more distinct half of Nebraska, and it's the cooler
Yeah,
part.
I mean, I have been to Oiblov, actually. I went to the Omaha Zoo. So I've technically been to Oiblov.
Wonderful.
What about what was I gonna? Oh yeah, Ronald. That's like my favorite state name.
It better not be named after Ronald Reagan. Unless Ronald sucks, in which case then it's fine if it's named after Ronald Reagan.
My assumption was Ronald McDonald.
Oh, that makes way more sense.
Capitalism.
You know how in American history it's like all of the eastern states became states and then suddenly California, and then they just kind of both, like, the western states went east to make more states and the eastern states went west? Yeah, so that's the reason that Ronald became a state so recently, is because, you know, people from California slowly started moving up to Ronald. And it was named after Ronald McDonald. It's true.
Yeah.
Imagine like the pain that Lewis and Clark must have felt having to do this.
Oh yeah, Ronald is just probably the worst state, just out of all of them. Yeah, it's just all of the pain of their journey was just going through Ronald.
Imagine like how high the Rocky Mountains would be in this case.
I love how we have been on this off-topic topic for probably longer than any other single topic in this entire podcast.
It's a good
And
topic.
just because I introduced a long kalimba.
Long kalimba for a long country.
Yes.
And I still think that Lake Baikal is better than Lake Doramos.
But I want to see this absolute unit of a Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a challenge. Somebody take this map and make an even longer US.
Oh no.
Chihuahua? Is that one of the long Mexico states?
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
Make long Earth.
All right, we got to do this. We got to make a project where we all create long Earth. Where instead of the Earth having what, 90 meridian, not 90, that's stupid. How many meridians does Earth have? It has 180, right?
Sounds right.
24.
Anyway, instead of that, we like multiply it by like 3 or 4.
Yeah. The shape of that globe is going to be awesome.
420 meridians.
Instead of long US, let's just make thick US where we take all of the states and just like expand them out and then add new states in all between.
What if we just stack states on top of them, so it's just a 2-layer cake?
That's amazing, actually.
Yeah, tall US.
What if instead of the US being modeled as like a subset of the real plane of R2, we take one of the dimensions and replace the real line with the long line?
I feel like our like if our a coordinate system, like, you know how there's north and south and east and west, what if it was just all like complex numbers? Like instead of heading, you know, west northwest or something like that, you had like 1 plus 2i in that direction or something like
That's
that.
an amazing, very good
Quaternion
and cool idea.
Earth! Quaternion Earth!
Cool.
Quaternion Earth!
I want to live in fractal land. It's
Non-Euclidean
flat
United
land, but
States.
cooler.
Do birds think in quaternions?
Okay, so there are actually 360 meridians, and there's 180 parallels.
That checks out.
Well, those are just degrees.
Well, I mean, if you're using degrees, I guess.
What if you're using radians?
I think that my long line proposal is more radical than the complex or quaternion one, because you're altering not just the values but the entire topology. The long line is longer than the real line.
What about what about short USA? Like, do we take out states, or just make all of the states like really thin?
It would be way fun.
Just make the states really
Like-
thin.
Like California boarding Florida, like
California being like thin as like what was that, like long thing?
Chile.
Yeah,
Dude, if we made the wide world, what we have to do is turn Chile into a square.
How about
yeah.
wormhole US, where there are a bunch of random connections between the states? All 50 of the states border all 50 of the states.
that would actually be so
If you go
cool.
all the way into the middle of Lake Doramos and go all the way to the bottom, you can actually find a wormhole to the other side of Lake Doramos.
Everyone on Xen Earth is gonna be so lost.
US on a Klein bottle.
Yes.
Klein bottle Earth. That's a new theory. It's the new flat Earth.
Hyperbolic geometry United States.
Klein bottle Earth.
I may not be a flat earther, but I am a long earther. I do believe that all of these states in the long US are real.
Me too.
I know guys. I know a guy who lives at the bottom of Lake Doramos, so it must be real.
I know a guy who lives at Lake Doramos.
What about the complex valued states?
I believe in that too.
Imaginary part of the US.
And actually, the U.S. isn't even just the complex plane. It has branch cuts.
Hey guys, I just wanted you to know the imaginary part of the United States are where all my ex-girlfriends are from.
Me too.
Well, all my ex-girlfriends are on another Riemann sheet.
Nice.
It's Riemann.
It's Ryman.
Raymond.
Nothing says Riemann quite like Ryman.
It's Riemann time.
Everybody loves Riemann.
And then you ream over everything.
I can't wait to have a delicious bowl of Riemann noodles.
Me too. Alright, y'all want a dumb change of topic? And I insert myself into showing off my media?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Alright, so, I made an album half a year ago. Well, I made a lot of music, and then I compiled into an album at the start of this year, and it has 25 songs, and they all have titles, which is, bold and radical, because I'm a musician. There are 25 titles, and you can find them all by, going to your friendly local streaming service and looking up the album Twigs by Ren Harmonic, because I'm going to plug myself like that. But more importantly, the titles are pretty dang arbitrary.
I love Stealing Stones.
Stealing Stones loves you. I'm gonna put the list of titles here. So, not all of these titles, a lot of these titles are pretty arbitrary, and I didn't know what I was gonna title most of these songs when I wrote them. So, the project files for these songs are even more busted. So, I've got a quiz for you. I'm gonna give you the project file name, and your goal is to try and guess which of these possible song titles the project file belongs to.
Oh, this is gonna be so fun.
It's gonna be great.
Oh goodness.
We'll give it free discussion. Talk however you want, but feel free to write down some answers if you've got them, because eventually you'll know this isn't gonna be even possible to get all of them right. But your first one is titled Cabin. Project file is cabin.rpp.
Thank you for turning this part of Xendergarten into a game show. Thank you.
I'm glad.
My guess is On a Frozen Lake.
I'm debating whether I should reveal the answers immediately or just keep going through and just reveal them all at the end. How are y'all feeling?
Let's reveal them as we go. I think it would be fun.
Alright, it is not On a Frozen Lake.
Okay, what is it?
This one is called Cabin because it was my first attempt at house music, and I wanted to do various outbuildings of a house. So this one is Mirage Mainland.
Oh.
Okay.
Also attached to this, I have projects named Shed, Bunker, and Lawn. None of those ever came to light, but Cabin survived.
Incredible.
Alright, next one is Catamaran, all lowercase with a K.
Oh, what?
On a Frozen Lake.
Still no.
Damn it, that was going to be my guess.
The hint here is that all of the rendered tracks were subtitled Kites Lost in the Wind.
Well, I hope we find him.
Windward.
It's Windward!
Nice. Okay. 1 for me, 0 for everyone else. I'm winning.
Was it in
Alright.
53 or 34 tone equal temperament? Because that would be a cataclysmic supporting E EDO.
Windward is in 12. It's tragic. Alright. Next one is Sound Escape Route. I capitalized this one for some reason.
Sound
There is-
escape room in all caps.
No, it's just a capital S. There's
Aw.
no...
Is it?
Is it no satellite?
It is not no satellite.
Is it
Is
on a
it-
frozen lake?
It is also not on a frozen lake.
I'll get this right eventually.
There is no helpful information here.
Is it Having?
Nope.
Having is my favorite song because it uses 15.ai pony voice samples.
Is it all grown up?
It is not all grown up. This one is No Anchor.
Oh.
It became No Anchor because I added text to it, and one of the lyrics is No Anchor, but it just started as Sound Escape route for some reason. Next one. Here's
Real quickly. Didn't you say that No Anchor was like your college final project or something?
Yes, it was. So I made this as a independent study class, and it was just the entire class was I made it and made a video for it and then put it on as a concert in quotes, because I played 2 videos and then played Elm in a show. So it was like 15 minutes, and it was interspersed with another friend who was just jamming out to metal he wrote. So it'd be my weird electronic music, his metal and screaming, and then just flipping back and forth between that, and then ending with a piano solo. All right. Yeah, that's how I ended college. Great times.
Okay.
Next one, Reflection 3.
Reflection
Send off.
3. My guess is Meditation 1 delay.
Nope.
My guess is Meditation 2 toys.
Nope.
Ah. Mm,
But it's
all grown up.
Reflection is delay.
Also, none of those. This is Elm with a piano solo.
Almost right. I was off
This
by
one-
one track.
I'm still winning.
It came through a couple different names. All right, here's one for everybody. Number 5, or letter E. Brickyard Theft 2.
Stealing stones.
Stealing stones.
Stealing stones.
It's Stealing Stones. Yeah,
Nice.
so never before seen footage. I actually did steal a sample for this one from something that had Brickyard in the name. So I just named the project file Brickyard Theft and kept going from there.
Hey, I think I'm gonna head off in a little bit. If there's anything else you want to say to me before I go, then do it. Sorry, I'm yawning. Then do it quickly, please.
I have no such things to report.
Remember to eat chocolate chips because they taste good.
And stay
True.
hydrated.
That too.
Yeah, I like to mix them into my sunflower seed butter because I'm severely allergic to peanuts.
Excellent.
Sunflower seeds are a good thing to eat.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So are chocolate chips because I'm eating them right now and they're good.
They grow a lot of sunflowers in Kansas, so I feel like I have to support the state's economy by eating some sunflower seeds. But I also eat a lot of peanuts.
I'm pretty sure there are quite a lot sunflowers in Doramos.
Oh yeah, that makes sense actually.
All right.
It's a state flower.
Goodbye, bad bye,
Go.
whatever bye. I'll see you later.
Fare thee well.
Horrible
Bad
bye.
I think bad bye might be my favorite word ever. I've heard it a few times, but every time it comes up, it's amazing.
It is.
Hey, so you know how in a bottle of alcohol, like liquor specifically, it'll have that little soft plastic thing at the top that prevents you from drinking it too fast?
Yep.
Yeah, so I took that thing out last night and I kind of forgot that I took it out. Basically, I don't really know where I am anymore.
Oh no.
You're in Doramos. Lake Doramos.
Was there a cute transparent ball inside the thing that prevents you from drinking too fast?
No, I don't think we have those here.
Damn.
I
Ramune.
haven't seen those before.
Cause like
We have them in Ramune bottles, but that's kind of the one thing.
Because that's kind of a cool thing when if you're like an alcoholic, you remove those stoppers. Well, they're not stoppers. The slowers. You can get yourself a cute collection of like transparent balls.
Fun fact, Ramune is one of the few drinks in the world anymore, pretty much, to use the design called the cod neck bottle, which is the one with the marble that uses carbonation to hold it in place.
That looks like a weird bottle shape.
All right, y'all up for resuming the quiz?
Oh wait, we're still doing that?
Well, let's not, cause like I'm still winning and like not by a lot, and I would love to keep it that way. And if we continue, I will not be winning soon. So like,
Dead Shaman wins.
yay!
Did you make that noise?
Me?
Yeah.
That came through incredibly high the first time. It was
Incredible.
amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Truly.
Amazing.
10 out of 10.
Nothing says yippee quite like yippee!
Me.
That was a G, by the way.
I love the letter G. It's so underrated.
Ah. Ah. Ah.
Welcome to Xendergarten
Dead Shaman and Anomaly.
Went on for several minutes and we had to cut everything out. But it's fine because we're going to have a really good and fun and good time. Talk about having fun.
Thanks for tuning in.
Right here.
Welcome.
Coming live from Lake Doramos, this is Xendergarten.
Welcome.
Oh, that's incredible.
And that's how you do counterpoint.
I'm definitely not classically trained in counterpoint.
If we're going to be talking about Lake Doramos, I just wanted to add one thing to our conversation earlier. That map of the long US has a weird anomaly in Wisconsin's northern border, and I have no idea why. I don't know where they got this information, because if you look at it, it just looks wrong. They gave some of Wisconsin to Michigan, and that is not okay, I don't think.
Huh. Yeah, that is a little funky.
Anyway, we should probably continue the game that we were doing.
Oh yeah, Ren's game. Yeah, let's keep going.
So, question, do you want me to trim it down so we're not doing all 25 songs? Or do you just want to go for it?
Let's just go for it, man. You only live once, you know?
True.
You're making it too complicated for yourself to edit.
All right, your next one is titled Immaculate. And some of the tracks were rendered as Accumulate. I don't know why. This is also not helpful information. But take a random guess. Do your best.
Scenario.
No anchor.
Having.
On a frozen lake.
This is none of those. This one is Arcady. Fun fact, the title comes from a character from Foundation and Empire, or Second Foundation. It's one of the Asimov novels. But one of the characters is named Arcady, and I was like, wow, that's a cool name. I'm going to use that.
You know, now that I think about it, Arcady does sound like a very immaculate song. You know, it just goes, boom, da-dum, dum, dum, da-dum, da-dum, dum, dum, da-dum, dum, dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum.
I think it's honestly one of my favorites still.
Dum, da-dum, dum, dum, da-dum.
Can you repeat which songs were already named?
I've tried to update in the...
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I see it now.
Yes. But we've got Mirage Mainland, Windward, No Anchor, Elm, Stealing Stones, and now Arcady represented. And now it's time for track number G, Gerund MC. I don't know if I was thinking like Gerald McBoing Boing with this one, but I just titled this one Gerund MC.
Finally, someone remembers Gerald McBoing Boing.
Dang right I remember Gerald McBoing Boing.
His larynx is upside down, and that's the reason he makes no human sound. Oh boy, why do I remember that?
You remember more than I do.
Dude, I watched, I had a bunch of those on DVD for some reason, and I could probably recreate like half of everything that was on that DVD from memory. I watched it so many times.
That is incredible. All right, any guesses as to what song could possibly have the working title of Gerund MC?
Scenario.
No. Puts the no in scenario. Dang it, there is no no in scenario.
Level.
Asking for a friend.
No, satellite.
Is it On a Frozen Lake?
It is not. This one is level.
I already said level.
I only halfway heard that. I wanted to let other people talk. But yes, that one's level because reasons.
So do I get a point?
You get a point.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay.
All right. Your next one is Drono. Hint, it's kind of a droning song.
Meditation 1.
Not Meditation 1.
Meditation 2.
Not Meditation 2.
This one is no satellite.
Also not no satellite.
Full Circle.
Willow.
But doesn't that one drone?
There is another one that drones, it just doesn't drone as hard, and it's Asking for a Friend.
Oh.
All right.
I forgot about that.
Slightly better working title. Not a Toy.
Meditation 2 toys.
Me when I not a toy.
You've got the right toy, but not the right song.
Oh wait, is it scenario?
Aww.
Also no.
Is it meditation 1 delay?
Also no.
All Grown Up.
All Grown Up.
Yes. Okay, I am back in the lead.
So yeah, All Grown Up I made with the Bleep Labs Nebula phone, which is this funky little DIY kit-built synthesizer. And we just had it sitting around for a while. And it's like, wow, this is a fun little gadget. And then years later, I finally decided I should make actual music with it. It's also coincided with an important birthday of mine. So I decided to just make the whole thing about being grown up. But the working title was just Not a Toy.
Man, Dead Shaman, why do you have to be in the lead again? Don't make me turn you into Living Shaman.
All right, your next challenge. Trillman track.
Your song titles are crazy.
The song titles aren't as bad. These are the project files.
Is it On a Frozen Lake?
I was not on a frozen lake.
No.
How about Movement Underwater?
Also not Movement Underwater. This one has trills in the melody. That's the best hint I can give you, but if you haven't listened to it,
oh, wait,
that's
Scenario.
perfectly fine. It's Scenario!
Let's go! I'm tied again.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So we have a lot of songs to get through, and we're not even halfway done. So we should probably like have a timer or something.
Yeah.
Or just cut it off halfway through.
Your next one. Under Est.
Is it On a Frozen Lake?
It's like underestimate, but cut in half, and it is not on a frozen lake.
Full circle.
Yes! It's full circle. Let's see. All right, your next one is Small Cities 2. It has nothing to do with small cities. I just thought I was going to write a sequel to Small Cities and never did with this one.
Larger than the oceans?
Nope.
Smaller than a bread box?
Nope.
Movement underwater.
Also no.
Willow.
No.
All of the news, none of the time.
Inquire Within.
Inquire Within. The only thing that it has in common with the original Small Cities is that it was all mono synths, and I just used pitch bend retuning to do the microtonal bits of it.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
That's all they have in common.
So that means we're tied again, Dead Shaman. Who's dead now?
All right, your next challenge. VSync off.
Is this one no satellite?
This is not no satellite.
Send off.
Also not send off.
Beneath this.
Nope.
Is it on a frozen lake?
It's also not on a frozen lake.
Willow.
Is it on a frozen?
All right, this
All
one.
of the news, none of the time?
Nope, this one is smaller than a bread box.
Dang it. I was gonna guess that one, but I didn't for some reason.
There's a song on the soundtrack to the video game Mercury Meltdown Revolution called Vision Off that's just really chill. And that was just in my brain when I started naming the project file. Everything beyond that is just chaos. Your next one. Make Modulaire Song. If you read the liner notes, you might know this one.
Oh, Larger Than the Oceans.
It's Larger Than the Oceans, because it's the song
go.
I made with Modulaire.
Let's go. I read the liner notes. I am a smart man.
There's 2 Xeno indexes here.
There is 2 Xeno indexes. That's weird. Oh, he's multiplying.
Oh no.
Oh,
He's going under mitosis.
oh no.
Like a real human.
I think the correct plural is actually Xeno indices. Yeah.
Yeah. We
You're
have
right.
Xeno indices. Oh, now there's only one.
Yes.
Tragic. All right. Speaking of only one, we're halfway through this. That's a segue.
Maybe the correct pronunciation of Xeno index is Zen 0 index.
Yes.
On a frozen lake.
No, your next one is Delay into Disto.
Oh, this one is Meditation 2 Toys.
No,
Meditation 1 delay.
it's Meditation 1, Delay. You know, the one that mentions a delay
Nice.
and has a delay going into distortion.
That should be good. I love
In
delay
case you're
distortion.
wondering, I did write Meditation 2 before Meditation 1. I just put the one that's titled Meditation
That's
1
crazy.
earlier in the album, was like, I should call this 1.
Okay.
All right, your next one is 24-hour noises, because I wrote it in 24 hours.
Having.
It's having.
Let's go. It's the one where Applejack goes, woo!
Yep. I'm actually, one of those clips is actually, I had it say ooh woo, and it just got the woo pronunciation of it really well, that I just clipped it to that. And that's just where the song happened. I am not apologizing for that, by the way. That's just what it became.
Yeah, I was confused because you said the first one was Celestia, but it sounds like Applejack. And now when I said it, you said, yes, it is Applejack. So I'm really
I
confused.
don't remember. I don't know my ponies. I just generated some woo and then put them in.
You don't need to apologize for saying ooh woo. I've been getting into fountain pens recently through a very long story that I'll probably tell later in the podcast.
I want to hear this.
Anyway, pretty much every time I just write some random words to test out my pen, ooh woo is going to be one of the words.
I love that. All right. Y'all ready for another song?
Yep.
Yeah.
Icing on the.
On the frozen lake.
On a frozen lake.
It's on a frozen lake.
Yeah.
Yes. Success.
Is it on a frozen lake?
It is on a frozen lake.
Yeah.
All right. Probably my favorite project title. One beans, please.
Beans.
Is it on a frozen lake?
Beneath this,
It is not beneath this, and it is not on a frozen lake. We already have on a frozen
Me
lake.
when it's time to eat the one beans, please.
no, the satellite.
Nope.
Send off.
Still no. This one is Movement Underwater. The project name comes from, there's an interview with Greta Thunberg where she mentions eating beans one at a time, and it's just a gorgeous sentence, and I just kept thinking of that and titled the project after
Did
that.
she actually say that?
Yes, she did. It's honestly a really fun interview to listen to.
That was a missed opportunity to call your second song All of the Beans, None of the Time.
We'll get to that title. All right, your next one is just Disquiet 0434 because I made it for Disquiet 0434.
Meditation 2.
Nope.
Scenario.
We already got scenario.
Are we? Okay. Belief.
Still no.
Frozen Lake Doramos.
Frozen Lake Doramos.
Beneath this.
It's beneath this.
Yeah, the liner notes.
Did you know that the word this is actually short for the is? It's a contraction without the apostrophe.
What?
So basically what you're saying is beneath the is.
Yeah.
I did know that because Canadian Goose told me, and I'm so sad that she's not on the podcast.
All right. Next one. We're getting to the point where it's going to be a lot easier from here. So I'm going to stop counting score. Your next one is Noise Toys Meditation 1 with
Meditation 2.
underscores.
Toys.
Meditation, yeah.
It's Meditation 2 Toys. Then we've got the last one before they're literally the actual song title, Sending Off the Year.
Send off.
It's Send Off because, you know, it's a send off. And after that, we get the ones where the project file actually happened to be the song name, like all of the news, none of the time.
All of the news, none of the time.
Belief came from I just never came up with a better title for it, so it stayed Belief. No Satellite. The title there comes from this delightful story titled 17776 What Football Will Look Like in the Future. One of the chapters of it is just titled No, and without giving away too much, because I feel like you should all read/watch this experience, satellites are involved. So no Satellite was just where I titled that thing. And the last one is Willow, which didn't have a project file. I wrote this on paper in 2015 and just called it Willow because my dream was to make a whole forest of piano solos. I've only written 3.
Bro, in 2015, my voice was high-pitched and my South African accent was a lot more evident.
In 2015, I guess my voice was actually where it is about now in 2015, but not much before then.
In 2015, I was the brony instead of you.
All right, that's the album.
In 2015, I sounded the same.
Nice.
Thank you for playing my game. Thank you for playing my game.
Thank you so much for playing my game.
You're welcome.
It's of me, Mario.
It's of me. Yes, I'm glad I could entertain you with one beans, please.
Speaking of being it's time for me to talk about my fountain pen story.
Yes.
Wait, but first, Mario. A fun fact about him. Although he has a Italian given name, he actually, as a Japanese character, has a Japanese surname, Itsumi. In the Japanese name order, where it's family name followed by given name, it would be Itsumi Mario.
Beautiful.
I love that. Another fun fact about Mario is that he turns into an elephant in the hit game Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Neat. Anyway, fountain pen story.
Fun fact, Mario is a real human.
No, it's not. Mario's not a real human. Mario isn't a real human. He has 6 vertices.
So, I recently got done working a second job for a music camp for middle and high schoolers that's run by the University of Wisconsin. And one of the parts of that job was at the very start picking up all of the equipment that we needed for the camp from various schools around the city. And when I went to one of the schools, it was a private college, probably rich, I would assume. And the guy who was signing the contract that we were, about the instruments that we were renting from that school, asked me for a pen. And so I grabbed the nearest pen, which was on the lectern in the room that we were in. And he tried to sign with it, and it didn't work. And so he just threw it away. But that was a weird looking pen. So I went over to the trash after we were done, and I took it with me. And then a few weeks later, I just had the pen in my car. I finally was like, I should probably take this in and wash it and take it apart and see what it's like. And I found out that it was a $20 Lamy Vista fountain pen. And I'm like, that's cool.
That's cool.
So I bought some ink, I bought some converters, and this was right around the time that I bought fancy-ish ballpoint pen ink because I wanted to finally have a nice pen. But Amazon lost my package, and so I just canceled it. I just canceled the order, got a refund, and I was like, well, I guess this was a sign. I'm now into fountain pens instead of fancy ballpoint pens.
Amazing.
And now I have spent probably too much money on pens, but it's okay because I have a very cool color of ink that I found by mixing other inks that I have. And it looks very nice. And as it turns out, you cannot pour ink out of a lot of bottles. Don't do it, as in seriously, don't even try. Because if you do, you'll end up like a purple spoob.
Oh.
I love being a purple spoob.
So what I actually did, because I didn't have an ink syringe, was I took a straw and I put it in the ink, and then I put my thumb over the end, then lifted it out and let go of my thumb in another bottle. And that was how I mixed the inks. So do that. Do not pour ink.
You literally mouth pipetted the ink.
Yeah, basically. I mean, not with my mouth, but with my thumb.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah, makes sense. The funny thing is, like, that for a long time that was one of the biggest methods of like transferring chemical substances between the bottles and stuff.
I would also like to remind the audience that I still have more alcohol in my system than I was expecting to have today. So that story was probably a little rambly.
It actually delivered pretty well.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
It was delivered so well that I can't find my liver anymore. Can somebody help me?
Such a dumb joke. And it's like the funniest thing that's come out of this entire podcast. Except, of course, for Live from Lake Doramos. That was another good part this episode.